Okay, I just finished washing the breakfast dishes. There's our water supply, that's our sink, that's our stove. I just wiped down the counter and the fridge. And I just made the bed. See, Eddie and I had breakfast here earlier. There's the cat. And there's her food. Okay. And then right after breakfast, we brought our hot beverages downstairs. It's about 8:45 right now. That was about an hour ago. And let me see. It's late October. Let's see, today must be like the 28th or 29th. I'm not sure. Anyway, I'm walking downstairs. It gets dark. This is the raised basement of the house. And we go around and here. And this is the old enclosed back porch, which we use for recycling and for drying out. This is a lot of old scrap wood we found around the outside of the house, and we're letting it dry out here. And eventually, it's going to be firewood. And here's part of our system. We got newspapers ripped into shreds. Those are fire starters. We got scrap lumber and trim, and we got 3 boxes of logs. This is to catch sawdust for when I use the saw to saw like logs like this into small pieces. And let's see, out here, out through the back door of the porch, this is our morning setup. And there's Eddie. Hi, Eddie.
Hi.
Yeah, and he's recovering from a rib injury that he got from bending over too far into a metal can down in the park to retrieve something out of it. Anyway, so here's part of. We got twigs and we got branches, and basically we harvest all this from the backyard. We're in the process of taking out a lot of banana trees and clearing the yard, and eventually we're going to level it. It's very low down there toward the fence, toward the back of the yard. So we filled up. We're sort of building a wall of yard waste. Those are banana tree trunks and banana tree leaves, and the brown ones I got up on a ladder and clipped them down from all this. And so it's very handy to take those and wad them up and bundle them up and put them in the fire. But anyway, this is, you see Eddie was just pouring more water onto his coffee. He's making coffee. Okay, but this, basically, we've been cleaning the yard for like the last week. And the yard has yielded all of these like stones and pieces of concrete, and mostly like half bricks. And so after, let me see, first we built the fire here in a ring of half bricks, and then we moved it over here into a bigger ring, and then we figured out that we could sort of build an approximation of a fireplace. And so that's what I did here. And I set up a rectangle, and I put the ashes in the bottom, and then put some more alternating. And I've got these holes in here so that when I lay a bed of wadded up newspapers, I can stuff some in these holes in the side and then light them, and then that sets the wadded up newspapers on fire. And then on top of that is twigs, on top of that is branches, and on top of that is a log. And so, anyway, Eddie's been down here having his coffee and reading, and he's been tending to this fire for me while I went down to the park to get some water. And we found this old pressure-treated piece of lumber that we use as a poker, to poke around and sort of keep the fire managed. So that's what we do in the mornings, because it's late October. It's starting to get a little cool. Winter's coming, and basically we're going to harvest these items back here as firewood or fire fuel to keep the fire going over the winter. And let's see, I'm going to pan back so that we can get a view of our backyard. We have this nice big tree. We haven't figured out what kind of tree it is. The bark kind of looks like a birch type tree, but then it's got these sort of, you know, sinuous roots, and then it's got these leaves that are kind of like an ash, but we're not sure. And it produces berries to reproduce. And then over here are the banana trees that we haven't taken down yet. But we took out about 18 banana trees that were here in this part of the yard, and they were just crowding everything in. I'm gonna step over here, and there's the back of the house. This is the enclosed porch on the back of the house, and it's really kind of falling apart. So we're over time we're basically going to dismantle all these clapboards and parts and keep them, and we're going to do repairs to other parts of the house with basically this back porch that's falling apart. Yesterday I cleaned up this area a bit. There was a lot of weeds and junk in here. You can sort of see some of the junk that's left. And I cleaned up this area. I gotta sweep it again. But basically, I stopped at about here, and you can see the rest of the corridor of this side passage. It goes up to the front of the house, and we've let it grow over with vegetation and weeds because we don't have a gate up there, and so right now it's basically the overgrowth that's keeping people out. So anyway, here's the real back of the house, and then this was the enclosed porch that was added, and the enclosed porch is kind of falling apart. There's the window up there, and this used to be the back of the laundry room. And so we're going to use a lot of these parts to make repairs to this part, and it's overgrown with weed vines now. But basically, we think somebody at some point started stealing clapboards from this part of the house or something. So we're going to have to replace those with the clapboards from the part of the house that we're going to take down. So okay, and there's our cat pretending that she's having an adventure. Okay, I think after I have my tea, I'm going to transplant some more of these elephant ear plants, and I'm going to transplant them over to this part of the yard. So I transplanted these yesterday, and they still seem to be doing pretty well. So I'm going to fill in this area behind this big tree with elephant ears. Okay.